My travels are all about walking in the footsteps of prominent mathematicians. Here, my travels have taken me to Oxford, where I'm walking in the footsteps of Lewis Carroll. The beginning of this video will involve just delighting generally in the beauty of Oxford, a place Carroll lived most of his life and knew well. At about the halfway point, I'll focus on places here that are specifically related to Lewis Carroll. Oxford has been called a city of dreaming spires, and I think that does describe the skyline well. I imagine most people think of Carroll first as an author. This city seems to me to be one that would inspire stories, with its towers, cloisters, quads, and historic colleges and libraries. There are ancient doors leading into astonishing rooms with even more astonishing ceilings. And in the passageways of Oxford, you might feel you've traveled in time, not just to 150 years ago, but perhaps to 500 years ago. In some places, it seems that nothing has changed. Many of these passageways open onto incredible architecture. I love this building, the Radcliffe camera, so much that I'm going to share quite a few photos in order to show it from different angles and in different lights. Not far from the Radcliffe camera is the Sheldonian Theatre, designed by Sir Christopher Wren. This is a city of stories for sure, and the stories of Lewis Carroll are everywhere to be found. In the covered market, you'll find the White Rabbit and the Mad Hatter's Teapot. In a game store on the high street, you'll find chess sets with Wonderland pieces. On St. Aldate's Street, you'll also find Alice's shop. So what is this video doing in a playlist on mathematical travels? Well, though he's best known as Lewis Carroll, his real name is Charles Dodgson, and he was a scholar and teacher of mathematics at Christ Church, Oxford. This college, where he lived most of his life, is just across the street from Alice's shop. He was a storyteller, yes. He was also an inventor, a renowned photographer of the Victorian era, and a mathematician. Mathematics was his area of study and also his profession, and his main areas in mathematics were logic, algebra, and geometry. Here we're looking at his college from the southwest. As we walk north up St. Aldate's Street, we find the entrance to Christ Church at the base of Tom Tower. Upon entry, we see the Great Quadrangle, also known as Tom Quad. In the center of the quad is a fountain with a sculpture of the Greek god Mercury. The college chapel at Christ Church is also a cathedral. From the center, we can look back and see the organ pipes. And turning to look to the east, we see the altar. Just to the left of the altar is the cathedra, the seat of the bishop. There are some rather ancient tombs here also. The entrance to the Great Hall of Christ Church may be familiar. If you've seen the Harry Potter movies, you've seen this entryway. I have to say, I wouldn't mind taking my meals here. The ivy-colored wall on the outside of the college really caught my attention. Just across the way is a small garden, and just to the east of that is Christ Church Meadow, where you can see deer come out to graze at dusk. Having taken a look at the college, I'll head north, down some paths and past a cricket field in order to get to another place associated with Carroll, the Oxford University Museum of Natural History. The building was completed in 1860 when Carroll was about 30 years old, so it was quite new when he brought Alice Little and her sisters here to see the interesting displays. The Victorian building of brick, iron, glass, and stone seems to be its own display. One aspect of that is the pillars, each of which is unique, having been made of stone from different areas of Britain. Each column is labeled with the type of stone and the location where it was quarried. When I first visited in 2016, I saw a display on Lewis Carroll and Alice Little. I didn't notice it back in 2022 when I returned, but it may have just been in a different location, or perhaps it rotates on and off. As well as taking Alice and her sisters to the museum, Carroll and another Christ Church Don would take them out on one of the rivers that flow through Oxford. And one of these boating trips is where the idea for Alice in Wonderland first came about. While he was a mathematician, his name living on today in Dodgson's method for voting and in the Dodgson condensation method for determinants of matrices, he had an exceptionally broad variety of interests. Not least among them was storytelling, for which he is best remembered today.